Resident Evil: Infinite Darkness Season 1, Episode 4 Recap, the ending explained. Following directly on from the cliffhanger ending of the previous episode, Claire is now a captive of Wilson, who in true villain fashion lays out his plans to publicly denounce China, station troops in Panamstan, test his bioweapons there, and drive up the price of the inhibitor. You know, just in case you missed all this explanation that has in large part already been given. Luckily, Jason arrives in the nick of time to turn this plan on its head somewhat, since he, not having taken the inhibitor in a while, turns into an obligatory tyrant and rather unceremoniously kills Wilson. Every Resident Evil story has a tyrant at the end. The only interesting thing about the Jason one is that he has seemingly retained his intelligence and personality. This doesn't track at all with what we've seen of how the bioweapon worked in Panamstan. Those were just run-of-the-mill zombies. But whatever. Leon and Shen may arrive, and it becomes obvious that Resident Evil: Infinite Darkness Episode 4 is just going to be the obligatory self-destructing lab sequence from the end of any of the games, but stretched out over the entire episode. It doesn't work at all as a finale, though. With only 25 minutes to play with, everything that happens is so far too quickly to provide much payoff. Shen Mei tries to talk Jason down, and he just snaps her neck. It's really bizarre. I kept expecting her to come back to life, but since she was never infected in the first place, I guess that isn't an option. But it seems a waste of a significant supporting character and does very little for Jason's arc since he's already a giant monster at this point. The climactic sequence itself is pretty cool. It takes place in a giant room full of crisscrossing gantries, collapsing containers, and vats of acid. Pretty soon, there's a lake of the stuff on the floor, and Leon is only able to narrowly rescue Claire before she's boiled in it. That's all Claire gets to do, though, be a damsel. Once Leon has dragged her to safety, he runs to get a bazooka, and then a 50-calorie sniper rifle, and has a couple of chats with the weirdly cogent Jason while blowing off various appendages. Eventually, he's able to drop him into the acid, which is a bit underwhelming, really. At the same time, President Graham is about to give his speech about China, but at the last minute, Patrick tells him that Wilson is responsible for everything, so he instead gives a heartfelt, and ridiculous, speech about America lighting the path to freedom for all. Better, but no less ridiculous, is Leon's final chat with Jason, the head and shoulders of whom have been skewered on a metal spike. As his remaining flesh melts off, he tells Leon that he has seen true fear, and will continue to spread it, so his mission has kind of been accomplished either way. Then the rest of him just sloughs off into the acid. Hardly seems like a success to me. Resident Evil: Infinite Darkness Season 1, Episode 4 provides a couple of last-minute developments, at least. Wilson is alive but infected. We see a man in sunglasses give him the inhibitor out of a case with the Tricell logo. And Leon and Claire don't get a happy ending. On the contrary, they're at each other's throats, who are rightly frustrated by his seeming unwillingness to turn against his own government, even after his own government has been obviously exposed as corrupt. Like I said before, that outfit doesn't suit you, she says again about his suit, and of course much more besides. It's just about the only moment in the finale that feels like a genuine payoff. As Leon walks back towards the White House with June sees Chip, you have to imagine he has a lot on his mind,